There we go.
I'm so sorry, guys. I am so sorry.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Me and Nick was doing the intro to the show, and we weren't even live, and nobody's here. Nobody's watching. Oh my God, guys!
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
16. Oh my God! Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I ain't even had a smoke. I can't blame it on anything but my own stupidity. I want to blame it on old age, but I'm not that old to be saying, look, I'm senile. So so sorry. So we're gonna have to start. Let's start this whole rhetoric again. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, so right, I know this now, so it sounds so rehearsed now. If I try and say, Bob knows. Nick, do you like horror movies?
Yeah, bruv. I absolutely love horror movies. What do you have in store for me, bruv? You're gonna scare the crap out of me? What's going on?
Well, not just you. For you guys out there, I hope you like horror movies. If you don't like horror movies, you might want to turn this off or walk away for the next, minute and a half to be safe. But I'm a big fan of the Terrifier. Now, I fell in love with the Terrifier, the very first movie, Terrifier 2. And what has happened today is the teaser trailer for the Terrifier 3 was dropped. And if you guys are on my social media, you would have known that I dropped it on those sites. But for you guys that ain't there, and plus we're waiting for some people to roll in as well, hey, let's take a look. You guys want to take a look at the Terrifier 3? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I'll send you the check in the post, though. Thank you. All right. So, okay. This is my bit, and I always get things wrong. So here we go. I'm not going to get it wrong this time. You ready? Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look at the Terrifier 3.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's get this big. And here we go.
Awesome.
I know.
I've never heard of the film.
Oh, I cannot wait for that.
Is the first two any good? I've never heard of it. I've probably heard of it before. I've never seen it.
Oh man, yeah. I'll be straight, and I'm gonna be straight with you on this one. Yeah. The first one, I think number 1 is far more better than number 2, only because, see, Damon Leone did not expect Terrifier 2 to blow up the way he did, because Terrifier 1 really stayed low key. It was like just a few of us was talking about it. I mean, when I first saw it, I called my son down. After I watched it, I called my son down and I said, "You have got to see this movie. It is totally off the chain, man." So he watched it and he was like, "Whoa!" And then we read that Damon, the director, he was going to do number 2, but he said he was doing this for the fans. So what he did was he made part 2 for the fans. So he made it a bit longer. I mean, the gore and everything's there.
Yeah.
But what he said now is he's going back. So Terrifier 3 won't be as long as Terrifier 2, because I think Terrifier 2 maxed out at about 2 hours. So it won't be as long. And he said one thing that they were talking about, and this is it, we'll get onto Phil. One thing that he did say was during filming the scenes, a couple of the crew members, it made them sick. So we're all in this little community saying, well, if it made them sick and they knew it was fake,
yeah,
what are we in store for? So
hidden. view. All these directors, they want to popularize things, you know, they want to ramp things up. So they're going to say stuff like, oh, yeah, we had crew members being sick and all that. It's a bit like The Exorcist when all the things started happening, you know, crew members started dying, the set caught on fire. I mean, things do happen, you know, but I think they're just doing it too. Hey, John, how's it going, brother? Nice to see you, bruv. But yeah, I think
you should before you make that analogy.
Yeah,
this guy delivers. This guy really delivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll check out Terraform with the missus, and we'll get back to you on that. Terrifier, right?
Check out the first one. Check out the first one. Then you'll see. All right.
Terrifier.
Well, Eric, there we go. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that trailer. I hope it didn't spook you out too much. I mean, the 7th foot. Did you see the 7th foot on the floor?
Yeah.
So, all right, but we're gonna be talking about Mr. Phil Schneider.
Mr. Schneider himself. Yeah, he's an interesting fella who's popped into the truth community or UFO community. Guarantee you would have heard him. Yeah, he's over the years. I mean, I've known Phil Schneider for so many. I mean, well over 20 years, I would say by now. A lot of his stuff is on YouTube that you can find, but there's a lot of stigma behind him because over the years researching Phil, I started to change my opinion on him. I really did believe him and his stories, but after the past couple of years, the FOIA request came out, which we'll get to, which describes Phil in a different personality and a whole different light. So what I want to do today is just go through Phil Schneider. We'll go through his life, his upbringing, his dad as well, because his dad is linked to what episodes we're going to be talking about next. So yeah, Phil Schneider. A lot of my notes I've got today was from a podcast called Last Podcast on the Left. In chat, do you know a podcast called Last Podcast on the Left? They actually came to England. Me and the missus actually met them. We saw them live, which they're really, really sound. But they did an episode on Phil Schneider not too long ago. So I have taken some of the notes from there. And also I kind of partly read a book called, a lot of the information, what we're talking about today, came from a book called Phil Schneider, the bravest whistleblower of the 20th century, with overwhelming evidence to confirm that Oklahoma City, the World Trade Center bombing, and 9/11 were false flag attacks. That is all like in the not in the first page. That is like the front.
Well, didn't he even speak out about the AIDS being genetically engineered?
Engineered, yeah. But he's linking it to aliens.
He was linking it to aliens.
Yeah. Everything that Phil. Well, as we'll show, like the clips and everything, everything's kind of like linked to aliens. But no, yeah. I know. We'll get there. I'm gonna put out information about Phil, but it's up to you in chat and the people who are watching this to actually make your own conclusions and do the research for yourself. But I'm just gonna loop to the basic background.
Mate, these guys ain't gonna come and research. They're not gonna read. They came here for you to do the goddamn research.
It's all on me now, is it? Flip it out. But this book here, no, that's cool, man. I mean, this book here is called, obviously, Phil Schneider, the bravest whistleblower of the 20th century, by Arthur Brookley. 4.2 stars on Amazon. There we go. So, yeah, that was only cost me like $5. So, yeah, a decent book, but it's still a bit sketchy when it comes to information. So let's move on to, hang on, I've got 420. It's tradition here on Hidden's channel.
There you go.
There we go. Right. So Phil Schneider. I would describe Phil as an old school conspiracy theorist, a bit like Bill Cooper. Ever heard of Bill Cooper?
Is he like BD? Is he BD Cooper's brother?
No.
Never mind. No, I haven't heard of Bill. Guys, the thing is with me is Phil Schneider I've heard of because he's a legend with his stories, but there's quite a lot of these people I won't know. So,
that's cool, man. I mean, Bill Cooper, he was like Alex Jones before Alex Jones in the 90s. He even predicted 9/11, I think 5 months before it actually happened. So Yeah, I would describe Phil Schneider a bit like the old American patriot. You know what I mean by the American dream person in America, like loves his constitution, loves his family, loves his guns, loves like the old patriot American, if that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to get at. But that's what I kind of describe Phil as to be. So starting up from the beginning, he we more know him as a structural engineer and geologist working for construction of underground military bases known as DUMS. So DUMS, which I'll be saying a lot in this presentation about, it stands for deep underground military bases. That's what DUMS stand for. So yeah, he was also known for the famous Dulce alien war that was held in 1979, which we'll get to a bit later. So yeah, so Phil was born in April 1947 in Pevesta Navy Hospital in Maryland from two German immigrants named Oscar and Shelley Schneider. Now I want to talk just briefly about Phil Schneider's father, because we're going to talk about him on the next episode, where I want to be talking about the Philadelphia experiment and the Montauk project. So yeah, so Phil Schneider's father, he was actually a German, and he worked for the Third Reich at the U-boats and submarine fleets. So he was in charge of taking down Allied ships. He was brought over from Germany to America underneath Operation Paperclip, where he worked for the US Navy for experiment with nuclear submarines. Now, according to Phil, his father worked for I can't believe I'm going to say this, the German secret time travel experiment known as Die Glocke. Now, we haven't done an episode on Die Glocke. This is to do with the German UFOs hidden. This was the big acorn device. In ufology, when we talk about German UFOs, Die Glocke is brought up as a time travel device. I'm telling you now, it was not a time travel device. The only thing that was anti-gravity that the Germans were building would have been Die Glocke. And there are some documents that suggest that some sort of experiment take place. So apparently Phil Schneider's father, Oscar Schneider, worked for the Die Glocke, which I'm telling you now that he didn't. But there is documents to prove that Oscar did work for the Germans, and yeah, that's right, the Bell Project, sorry. Yeah, Die Glocke, the Bell Project.
I can't put you up, Supercat, because you put up the N-word.
Oh yeah, they're funny with that. Yeah, Supercat, they get a bit funny with that, don't they? So yeah, but there are documents to prove that Oscar Schneider did work for the Germans and the US Navy, linked to the Philadelphia experiment. So we'll talk about Phil Schneider's father a little bit later, because he does get brought up into accounts. But yeah, for those who don't know, the Philadelphia experiment was to cloak a battleship invisible. And this was from I believe the first experiment was taking place in 1943. And what actually happened was, instead of actually cloaking the ship invisible, it actually teleported it. It went invisible and teleported it somewhere else in the future. And it reappeared apparently in 1983, I believe, 40 years after the disappearance. And there's a famous X-Files episode where they talk about the Philadelphia experiment, when you see the men in the ship like halfway through the walls and everything, all stretched out. I don't know if you've ever seen that hidden. That famous.
I don't know if I got to that yet. I mean,
no, that's all right. But anyway, we're moving away from Phil Schneider. But yeah, we will talk about that a little bit later. So let's go back to Phil. So Phil attended engineering college, and he had a degree in that, and he gained popularity as a geologist in the early 60s, 70s, and eventually joined employment for the Norton Cantunson Corporation. Now, Norton Corporation, which we'll call it, deals with military and governmental contracts, especially dealing with underground military bases. Now, this has all come from the book here and Phil Schneider's account himself. And in 1970s, Phil had the highest security clearance, known as Rhyolite 38. And this is 38 levels above top secret. Okay. According to him, hidden. Nothing to back it up. According to him, just like stories.
A bit like me.
Very, very, yeah, a bit like you, hidden. A bit like you, brother. With the IQ of 163. Hidden. Do you have an IQ of 163?
He just picked me. Mine's 152. But I don't know how to start a show.
So yeah, just like a bit basic background on what Phil was doing. Phil was in charge of constructing underground military bases, and what they would do, they were. Have you seen these big boring machines? I don't know if I can bring a photograph over here. Tunnel machines. Have a little look. I don't know if you guys seen those big boring machines that can actually fragment rock. I'm going to bring up a photograph here just to show you how big this machine is. And what this machine does will actually use flamethrowers, waters, vibrations, solar energy, electric energy to basically fragment rock and basically turn it into like powder, basically. But this is a small version, but normally these are twice as big than this. So these can actually bore out huge tunnels. And apparently Phil Schneider, he built 13 underground military bases using this technology. But bear in mind, this is updated technology. This is technology that was used back in the 70s. So it would have been a little bit different. Now, according to Phil, they can burrow machines that use this machine here to burrow tunnels. It take about 7 miles a day. So that's quite an achievement, really. So what they do, they burrow these 4 holes going down, and eventually they can fragment the rock so they can actually take out the insides, which is quite interesting when it comes to engineering side of this, which leads to Phil Schneider's big event. So in August of 1979, he was working for the Norton Corporation, located in Dulce, New Mexico. Okay, 4 large holes that were drilling into the ground in the middle of the desert. And one time, the equipment kept on breaking. They're sending it down, was working, it would break, come up, and it would be like destroyed. And another time they'll bring something down again, and something was wrong with it. So Phil was sent down in this little basket. He was in a spacesuit with a gun. He was lowered down into one of these tunnels where they're boring. And that is when he saw the infamous thingamajiggy. When I'm talking about thingamajiggy, I'm going to let Phil talk about this because it's an interesting story. Take it with a very much pinch of salt. Hold on, I'm going to get this right a minute.
Same with Bird. He met them inner Earth beings too, and it, didn't bode well for his people. They allowed him to live.
Oh, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about 1627. I don't know about Amber Bird. A lot of it is just stories that was made up, to be honest with you.
Entertaining, nevertheless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not as I say, it's what information you really come across, really. Yeah, but Amber Bird. We could talk about like the operation. Oh no, what was it called?
Steamboat.
Steamboat High Jump. Operation High Jump. That's the one. Right. Bring me up, Hidden. Got the video here.
I'm waiting for you.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Hold on.
See. Cheech and Chong at it again.
Right. Here we go. Fantastic. Okie dokie. So this is Mr. Schneider himself. This was 2 years before his death because he was doing a string of lectures at the time. Let Phil Schneider talk about what he experienced in August of 1979, and we'll move forward.
Now, I was involved in something very controversial, almost totally unbelievable to most of you. Some of you are religious people. I think all religions have a time and a place, and they definitely have a place in America. Now, another thing I want to reach to you is that during the unbelievable part, I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. Number of the original wells or drilling machines that were used were at the rate of up 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. The equipment kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down and wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up. The gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for as best as believed possible about 400 or 500 years. Had been one of their internal bases. And we drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up. And well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really. All started. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build a underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build called stopes or cross member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment, special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish, and burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot, burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember was the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died, but he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the government, our United States government, lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat. There's a war underneath there, and I'm talking dead serious.
There we go. Straight from the horse's mouth, one would say. So yeah, that's Phil Schneider's alien encounter.
Yeah.
I've got a photograph here of Phil Schneider's scars, where he was allegedly beamed by that alien. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, like, I don't want to be like rude, but Phil Schneider's hand kind of reminds me of Hanson from Scary Movie 2.
This is my good hand.
Good hand, champ.
You want some mashed potatoes?
It's just the dinner table scene when he starts like doing something with the turkey. I find it absolutely hilarious. But yeah, who's the squid person in Futurama? It's just that I don't know.
Cyborg.
Cyborg, yeah. But just I feel bad for Phil because I do believe he was bumped off to a certain degree. But yeah. Moving on from Phil Schneider's hand, but you can see he's lost, like someone said in the chat, he's lost fingers, which we'll get to a little bit later. And he's also got the big scars. Naughty boys, I know. How many fingers are there? I think it's like 2 in it. I think it's missing 2, and he's got a pinky and a thumb left over. I think. Grab my strong hand. Oh, dear. But yeah, it's an interesting story though in regards of Phil's alleged encounter. I mean, I should tell you why Phil Schneider came out in the first place. He started coming out as gay, obviously. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about why did he come out to the truth movement? Okay. He hasn't come out of the closet just yet.
Keep them doors off.
He did. He was like, I'm out and I'm proud. No, he's dead. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so back in 1992, him and his best friend named Ron Rummel, who I believe Ron Rummel was part of top secret government programs dealing with UFOs and extraterrestrials and stuff like that. And yeah, it was in 1992, Ron Rummel was found dead in Orland Park with his hands tied behind his back with two gunshot wounds to the back of the head. Okay, so he had his hands tied behind his back and 2 gunshot wounds at the back of his head. It was ruled as a suicide.
Definitely suicide.
Exactly. So yeah, the coroner said it was ruled as a suicide. Phil Schneider was like, no, that's not right. It's like something's not quite right here. And eventually Phil felt quite strongly about this, and then eventually started to do the lecture circuits from 1993 until his death in 1996. Obviously, he met Al Bulick as well. Anyone in chat know who Al Bulick is? Hi, Rotary. How's it going, bruv? Yeah, Al Bulick. Does anybody know in chat who that is? Because I want to do an episode on him and the Philadelphia experiment and the Montauk project as well, which is obviously what the Stranger Things is based upon. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, we could probably do an episode on that because that's really interesting. Al Bulick. But Al Bulick was in the lecture circuits, the Truth Movement lecture circuits in the early 90s, and that's how he met Phil Schneider. And then Phil started going onto the lecture circuits and talking about his experiences and all that until his timely death in January of 1996. And Phil has always said, look, if I ever die, it's not by suicide, it's by, it'll be murder. Okay. But a few years ago, there was a FOIA request done to release some documents on Phil Schneider, which shines Phil in a different kind of light. Let's bring up the website because I found it here. I'll bring up some more clips on Phil, but I just want to give the viewers here just a grasp of what there's 2 sides to Phil, because he did have major mental problems. Like he had schizophrenia, which I'll show you the document that was released.
Wouldn't you say that's understandable? I mean, you're digging into the earth, and you come across not 1, not 2, but 3 alien beings that you had to shoot dead. But
this was
ugly.
before Hidden. No, this was before.
He had the mental problems. So
yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
Let me just explain a little bit, because I don't want to sound like I'm debunking Phil, but this kind of sounds like there's a different alternative to how Phil died. Okay, So back in the 60s, when Phil Schneider was in college, he was learning how to be a geologist. Part of the engineering degree was to be a geologist. That's how he started to learn about fragmented rocks and stuff like that. He brought home, I'm not joking, this is in declassified documents. He actually brought home 60 pounds worth of rocks. Okay. And he lived with several housemates at the time. And the housemates were complaining that the rocks smell bad. They're having headaches. They felt nauseous until one of the roommates, he actually came out. I can't remember what the guy's name was. It might be in this website shop in a minute. He says that he was so suspicious of Phil, he actually called the FBI because the roommate thought Phil was actually building a nuclear device because it had all these bloody rocks. Well, the FBI came and they found out that Phil Schneider had actually brought home 80 pounds worth of radioactive material. They did tests and the whole apartment, even the flipping car park, was radiated. So Phil's actually like broken the law, the Atomic Clean Act, something that happened, to do with nuclear stuff. I mean, yeah, Phil Schneider actually radiated his bloody housemates. And it's like, what the hell is he? So when it comes to Phil Schneider later years, where he has all these illnesses, because when he's doing these lectures hidden, he's got cancer, he's got he's on medication because he's literally his body is deteriorating. And he's also bringing those rocks into his bloody lecture circuits as well. He's actually showing. He's saying to people, please don't handle the material. Just look at it. I'm like, yeah, no shit, because there's radioactive material. Apparently, what he's showing is alien. It came from alien life forms, and he's been holding it with his bloody hand. I mean, surely bacteria or who knows must affect him. So this is actually backed up in FBI documents, a FOIA request. I don't know if you could put this.
I can.
This article up, and unfortunately, we may have to start reading.
Oh man!
I know, hidden. Right, okay.
I'm not going to go for that name.
So the guy who wrote this clearly looks trustworthy. So
does that
another
say
fraud,
Richard
Belshaft, I think it's called Richard Belshaft. We'll go with that. So yeah, Richard Belshaft wrote this article here called "Another Fraud, Phil Schneider." So in here, oh no, they take down the bloody video. He's privatized it. So in this video here that says video unavailable, this was the original video of the guy who put a FOIA request. Okay, around 2018, Joe from California, Beyond Theory on YouTube. What's that?
That's like the government people,
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. Sounds like it.
Joe said that he went into a warehouse and he saw a UFO. So we do have them. Trust me, bro. Joe told me.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Joe from California. Beyond Theory on
YouTube. Yeah, we'll forget about him anyway because he's not really important at this point in time because his video's not here. His research team issued a FOIA request about Phil Schneider to the FBI on March the 22nd of 1945, and
an acquisition of Phil Schneider turned him into the FBI in Oregon. Phil claimed to have been attempted to build a nuclear device and had radioactive material.
That's it. Yeah. So the first page of the FOIA document in the video. So unfortunately, the video is privatized, but in here it does state that he had attempted to build a nuclear device. He had possession of material, and what does it say at the end? He was a patient at the Damask State Hospital.
State Hospital.
No, Damas. Oh fuck it. Okay. Oh, I'm swore again. Hidden. Do apologize. PG-13, brother. I know with Disney Star Wars. I know that we like the acolyte here. 1968 to January of 29th of 1969. So he was in a. Yeah, there it is. There a schizophrenic.
Schizophrenic with
hang on, the word before it. The characterized schizophrenic with
chronic weed addiction. We like Phil Schneider already. He's on the chronic.
Man. Yeah.
Not to get confused with the bionic, even though it does cost. All right, I'm shutting up.
So here we have the document stating that Phil Schneider was treated for schizophrenia.
Self-amputated and had amputated 2 fingers and a thumb.
Yeah. So that was according to the housemate that ratted him up to the FBI. He stated at the early years, this was before the aliens and all that sort of stuff, Phil Schneider was self-harming. He was self-mutilating. He also mutilated his penis, apparently, according to his ex-wife, Cynthia. Apparently, he described it, his penis, as a spliced hot dog. So, you know, when you splice a hot dog in half, like from the tip to end, and it's, apparently it was that. Apparently, it was to do with his contract work for Norton Corporation. Yeah. Apparently.
If you want to work with us, you got to slice your penis. Okay.
Oh no, man! That just makes me cringe, bruv. But well, there is some sort of No, it's been proven that he went to the hospital from 1968 to 1969, treated for schizophrenia. So he did have it, but you have to take in consideration at this time he was on medication to stop this schizophrenia and to help him stable until he got married. And then because his wife said the medication that he was on gave Phil horrendous memory loss. So he stopped taking it when Ron Rumble, when his best friend died, and when he started doing his lecture circuits hidden. Okay. So he stopped taking his medication because of it. So I know Phil Schneider's quite a good talker. He's a bit like Al Bulick, a very good the way of words, the way he comes across. He sounds sincere. But again, you never know what's going on behind the brain of a person. It's a bit like Rick Clay. You know, when on his interview, he sounds brilliant. He sounds happy, cheerful, but you really don't know what's going on in the mind of a person. And believe me, right now, I flip and know that 100% through a personal thing. So you really don't know what the mind of the person.
I think we all can feel that one, brother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially in 2024. But yeah, again, but you can't deny these documents, guys. You know, I know Phil Schneider had mental health problems and all that. And when you take in consideration that he stopped taking his medication after his best friend died and he started going to the lecture circuit, so I think a possibility, I don't know what people think in chat, that the schizophrenia might have come back and he started to, apparently hidden when he stopped taking his medication. That's where he remembered the alien Dulce war that happened in 1979. All the stuff started to come back because what Phil Schneider was saying is that the medication actually suppressed his memory. And that can be backed up by Cynthia, his ex-wife at the time. I think they were married from 1986 to 1991, I believe. I might be wrong. But he was taking medication that suppressed his memory. And when he stopped taking it, then all the memories started to come back. Okay.
Which to me sounds a bit more plausible. But before he went into the government work, he was on a schizophrenia medicine, wasn't he? Am I correct?
Yes, he was. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I mean, that is sort of kept quiet in the books and everything, but that's just the truth. He was taking medication, and also at the time, you know, his health was declining because he's handling all these radioactive rocks, you know. So he's basically radiating himself, and you will see in the lecture. I'll play a bit more Phil Schneider because
one thing I like to just add in though. Just because the freedom of information is saying it, it's up to you to believe it. Because remember, there was a freedom of information request on Nikola Tesla, where the FBI were investigating if he came from Venus.
True.
That's very true. Do you get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we have to, when we're trying to look at something and say, well, look, on the Freedom of Information Act, it says this. Yes, it may say that, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Because I always remember what they said about Tesla, that he came from Venus. and they actually did look into this. Did Nikola Tesla come from Venus? And if you guys don't believe me, you can look that up. It's there. I think it was the CIA, or was it the FBI, that was openly investigating if he did come from Venus.
Yeah, it was 1947 when he died, so that would have been the FBI. But do you know the person who actually went into Tesla's home and took the death ray and all the documents on that?
Well, wasn't it the government? Because it wasn't his home. He
didn't
have a house. He lived in a hotel.
He did, but he had all the documents there. But guess who actually raided his apartment? It was actually Donald Trump's uncle. Oh my God, what's his name?
John Trump.
I think his name's John Trump. Yeah.
Thank you, Torito.
Yes, John Trump. Yeah, thank you, Torito.
Thank you. Clever as hell.
Is it his Trump's dad or uncle? One or the other. But he actually went in and took all the documents on the death ray and whether or not Tesla came from Venus. I don't know. Apparently, Tesla was born on an extremely stormy day. It was thunder and lightning going whilst he was being born, apparently. It's quite interesting. Love to do an episode of Tesla, mate, if we fancy doing that at some point.
I think that's going to have to be like a couple of parts because the man is so fascinating.
Oh, my God.
I mean, what they... no more Tesla. I'm not going to say anything because there's so much... Cool. You know, right here, right over here, I have a picture of Nikola Tesla. You know, he's such an inspiration to me. Like he changed the way I thought, the way I view things, the way even spiritually. This guy is he knew so much. I wish he knew how to grow my tooth back though.
Oh no, hidden. They did. I'm not joking. I saw a video about 4 months ago, and what they have done, they have taken this dental practitioner had actually built a machine that created vibration, and you can actually build a whole new. Hey, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Apparently, they built this machine that used vibration to actually create new teeth. I've seen the video on it. I couldn't believe it. It's just like,
please. I do need.
I know it's all there. I know. I need. So we're English, mate. We've always got bad teeth. So, but I do brush my teeth. But anyway, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Because I went on the rant about just because it's from the Freedom of Information Act. So wherever you were going then, because I just want to clear that up to play devil's advocate. That just doesn't mean it's truth. It just means that this is what they looked into and whatever. And it'd be interesting to see the date of the Freedom of Information Act, just in case it came after his death or after he started saying, look, I saw these things, because there is a disinformation that goes on. We do know this.
That was a couple of years ago, bruv, that Freedom of Information Act that was for 2018 when that was put out.
There you go. Yeah. I'm not trying to say that the guy's telling the truth. I'm not saying he's lying.
Well, I'm going to bring Phil back up. 3123. Let's have a look.
It's tooth.
Right. Okay. How's everyone in chat doing? Hope you're all 420 in. Right. Bring this up, bro. Okay, let's talk about Dulce. Okay, what is Dulce? It's an underground, it's a dumb. That's what Dulce is. It's a deep underground military base. But it has several underground layers. Let's put my notes up. That apparently coincide with humans and aliens together to create human-alien hybrids, apparently. So there's several layers that go deep underground. Apparently it's like 7 miles deep, apparently, according to Phil Schneider. They have laboratories in there, genetic experiments, human cloning, alien cloning, A lot of cattle mutilation that began in the area. I believe in the 80s. I believe probably Linda Moulton Howe. I know people were a bit skeptic about her, but she did talk about that around the area of Dulce. So you had all that sort of strange things, plus, and you had UFOs being spotted as well in that area. So I don't know if whether or not the base actually exists or not. I know there are some military facilities around the area, but apparently this is built in a mountain. Like I said, it goes several downs far down to the ground, and humans and aliens are coalition together to build alien-human hybrids, and that is the story of Dumbs. But let's bring Phil Schneider back up, and this is him talking about what is actually going on with the alien agenda.
But it does look like this may be the only alternative. Now, I'm going to casually mention to you something that's very scary indeed. And tell you what the alien agenda is. And it's going to sound very familiar. The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5/6 to 7/8 of the world's population by the year 2029. U.S. military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one. As far as I know, I'm the only person standing before a crowd talking about the alien agenda secretively. Okay. Back in 1954, I'll give you a quick overview. There was the created 1954 treaty where Eisenhower signed a pact with the known alien species of the time. There were 3 at the time. And said that we're going to deal in high technology, but you can take a few head of cattle and a few human beings and you can experiment on them. It's unthinkable. It's stuff straight out of the Nazi death camps, and I'm kidding you not, it's plain BS, and it's got to stop. Now, the created 1954 treaty had been violated. After the great firefight, the alien-human war, I am the only living survivor talking about it worldwide at all. Only one. The other 2 are in nursing homes in Canada, and the Canadian government refuses to allow any U.S. people, including myself, to talk to them because they are afraid of kidnapping.
Have you heard of Valiant Thor?
No.
Okay. This is the interesting bit. Chat, have you heard about when Phil Schneider talks about Valiant Thor? Because I've got the original photograph here. When Phil Schneider claims he attended 2 UN meetings. These were secret meetings, apparently, that exposed that aliens were actually in charge of the UN, the secret government, the FBI, and all that, apparently, according to him. And this part here of the lecture, Phil Schneider holds up a photograph and he points to a person that claims to work for the Pentagon, but is actually an extraterrestrial, the name of Valiant Thor. Okay, and now I'm going to play the clip now. You see the grainy photograph he shows in the video, but I also have the original photograph here, and we can take a look at Valiant Thor and his bloody weird hands and head. But yeah, Valiant Thor, apparently he's thousands of years old, but he looks like he's 40, and he hasn't changed a bit because he's wearing a skin suit, I believe. But let's hear from Phil.
One had to leave here in a hurry because their world is under attack, both on the surface as well as underground. There, the Pleiadians. They're familiar. Maybe some of you are familiar with that. Would some of you raise your hands who've heard of Billy Meyer and some of the, very good, about half the group.
Fake.
Well, Billy Meyer is one of these lucky people that they figured, well, he's kind of a simple type. We'll show him everything. Well, these are the benevolent aliens, and they've been here helping us. In fact, I have a picture. Let me reach for it here.
with a strong hand.
I have a picture of one of the aliens been working for the United States Pentagon for the last 58 years. His name is Valiant Thor. He's right here. There's my father in the background. This whole place, the ready room of the USS Eldridge, Al Bielek has probably explained, or maybe even shown you this picture. There's a list of some of the notable people in it. They're all the atomic bomb scientists of the day, all the time variant experimentalists of the day, all the top physicists of that particular day. This was in August of 1943. Now, this guy has not changed one iota in 58 years. Started work, he came here, crashed here or whatever, whether he's under duress or not. He started work for our U.S. Navy and military operations in 1937, either 37 or 38 is what I've been told. So it's for 58 years, this man's been employed, probably under duress. If you don't do as we say, we're just going to use you for alien bait or something. I don't know. But anyway, he basically hasn't changed. He lives for 490 years, is what he says his lifespan is. Now, he was supposedly a semi-benevolent, he's a human-looking type person. He has 6 fingers and 6 toes, and he's got one oversized heart, one lung, giant lung. His blood vessels are bigger. He's got copper oxide for blood, similar to an octopus.
I'm sorry, I just got to stop this. How does Phil know that? What's he get? Is it again? Just trust me, bro.
His brain capacity 300 centimeters greater than ours. He has a thinking capacity, IQ. If you were to measure it, be totally off the scale, be about a 1200 IQ. He speaks 100 languages fluently, alien as well as others. He's a remarkable person. I had a chance to meet him one time. Now, by the way, he doesn't shake hands. He was kind of in a spacesuit because all aliens, regardless benevolent or otherwise, they're carrying germs and diseases and bacterium in and on them that are deadly to us. If I were making policy, I'd quarantine them all because how do we not know that some of our
like what Trump wants to do?
Ebola, hantavirus, and a few of these other weird designer diseases, as I call them, are not made from the cadavers of some of these aliens as a biological weapon to use against the people of the United States. Well, I'm tired. I'm a tired American speaking out.
Hey, Phil. Right. Okay. We saw that really blurry photograph of Valiant Thor. Would you like to see the clean up shot of Mr. Thor himself?
See, I think
Valiant Thor. Hang on. Valiant Thor sounds. Do you know what, that name rings a bell?
It sounds like a strain of weed.
It does sound like a strain of weed.
No, yeah,
it does. It sounds like a alien hooker. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, and this is it. People in chat might know this, especially if they were in England. There was a TV broadcast. There was a TV broadcast of Doctor Who, and suddenly there was this interruption, and you had this alien speaking through static called Valiant Thor. Have you ever heard of that?
And I didn't know it was Doctor Who. I thought it broke. I thought it broke the news.
No, it was no. That was
I know what you're on about.
I think that's Max Headroom. I think.
No. I know what you're on about.
No, but that's where Valiant Thor just triggered. That's what Valiant Thor comes from the 1970s, and somehow it made into Phil Schneider. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just rang a bell. It just rang a bell. Let's bring up Phil Schneider and his alien friend.
That's what I thought. I thought that too, but I've been told no.
Yeah, I think it was Doctor Who. I'm pretty sure it was Doctor Who. All right, here we go. Can I zoom in? No. Okay, right. So Here is Phil Schneider's father in the blue. And that is, I can't remember what Phil said. But these are all very obviously important people. But again, you can see Phil Schneider's dad there. And here is Valiant Thor. Damn, what if we can actually zoom in? Can I zoom in? Edit image. Hidden, can you see that?
Yeah. Can you guys see that? I can make it bigger.
Hold on. No, I want to zoom into hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute, what are we doing?
Yeah, we want to look at his cranium.
Yeah, all right, 2 seconds. Let's bring that out. And let's bring that back in there. Because you really want to have a look at, because he's got really long hands. It's really weird.
Has he? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
See, I've seen that picture before. I have seen that photo before.
Oh, is that it? Hold on, chaps. Okay. Share that. Can you see that? Oh, no, it's not working. Okay, solid. Right. Hidden, can you zoom in to this guy's really weird hands? It's a hand episode today, isn't it?
Not at all, mate. I can't.
You can't do it. Okay. All right, chat.
Let me see. No.
Okay. All right. Never mind. But yeah, this chap here is Valiant Thor. He has a skin suit. Apparently, bacteria is so deadly, but they still let him out. Especially once they do deadly. Well, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if anyone's actually tracked him down or who he is. But this is the photograph of what Phil Schneider showed in his lecture. Now, if that was a personal photograph, I'm guessing is a personal photograph, how did it make it onto the internet? Such a clear cut. So the question is, where did this come from? Where did this photograph come from?
See, I don't know. I just don't know, because I'm looking at the guy's hands, but I'm also remembering that basketball players, see, because he's sitting down, we have, how did he in that little thing, did Phil mention how tall the guy was? Because he's given a lot of things.
No, he didn't actually, no.
Because if this guy's pretty tall, this could explain his long hands, because basketball players have big hands.
Yeah, but these are quite long to a certain degree. Hang on. I've just saved the photograph and I can do that instead. Hold on. But he's got like a specific jawline. Like it's quite chunky. Right, there we go. Let's bring this up.
The chewing gum. He's exercising his jaw with them ease.
Yeah. There we go. That's better. Right, let's zoom into this. There we go. That's better.
They are freakishly long hands.
Do you know what I mean? Like, look at his fingers. And apparently he's got 6 fingers, apparently.
Shame the picture didn't show that.
Yeah, I know.
It's got a big old head as well, man.
This is it, yeah. I mean, if you look at his neck, that is like a George Lucas neck. You know, that's like a turkey neck. You know what I mean? See what I've seen heading? Like, so yeah. This is Valiant Thor, apparently, the extraterrestrial that never ages. Good for him. Staying forever young. So yeah, he's still in the Pentagon now. He's still there.
I was gonna say, Phil Schneider's dad looks like but then again, you did say he's from German descent. So,
do you know what he looks like? He looks like the.
I have ways to make you speak.
Is that the guy from Indiana Jones? I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he looks like that.
I know you're on about the one who had the symbol burnt in his hand.
That's it. Yeah, but you can tell the people in here look absolutely bored. I mean, look at that chap there. He's like, oh,
the blonde dude's supposed to be the alien.
Well, this guy, yeah, but that guy back there, dude, come on, you got an alien ahead of you.
This guy's
like
asleep.
that. He's asleep. I'd be like, holy shit, got alien here. But yeah, this is, I don't know where this original photograph came from. No idea. But that is what Phil Schneider showed in that lecture. Valiant Thor, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. Still there in the Pentagon. Still there. His friend, Derek. He's a friend.
He'll get on well with all the other blood-sucking leeches there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But well, you're spot on there, mate. But let's get like an overall conclusion of what Phil Schneider, his claims and all that. Do you want to listen to more Phil, just to sort of get a feel of him? So I've got some more.
Yeah, I mean, Phil to me, he's like I said before, he's an interesting guy. His stories are very entertaining, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Whether I believe him or not, I've never sat there. When anybody talks about Phil Schneider, I always laugh and say, yeah, he's the guy who fought the aliens and won.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on, sorry.
I'm coming from the mindset now, looking at the truth community, because anyone that brings up Phil Schneider will automatically say, oh yeah, he was killed by the government. And this is the mindset of a lot of the truth movement. But I think you need to have a look at the documents, the FOIA documents. I understand what you're saying, Hidden, not to trust the FOIA request, but he did go to a mental institution from 1969 to 1969 for a year. He had schizophrenia. He had radiative rocks in his home. That has to be taken into consideration as well. I don't know about Phil now. I love to believe his stories. They sound fantastic, but what I was going to say, it's who knows, man, going on the mind of a person. Is it I don't know, because he does have the schizophrenia. I mean, even his wife was saying that he was telling all these fantastic stories. The guy that ratted him out, his housemate, also said that he was a fantastic storyteller, a bullshitter, if you want to call it that. I'm sorry for swearing again. So who knows? Who knows? But when Phil died, I think we should talk about Phil's death, if you want to go into that, because there are some very suspicious stuff leading up to his death as well. So I tell you what, let me bring up Phil again, and I'm going to show you the very, very last lecture he did before his passing. Actually, I think it was this one, actually. Yeah. Okay, let's bring this up. All right, got this up, Hidden.
I don't like to put full screens on when we're playing these things, just in case someone wants to claim copyrights.
Oh, right, okay.
That's why I don't put the full screens up, because it gets around the copyrights, because we're doing this as an educational purpose.
Yes, that should be stressed first. Yes, educational purposes. We are educating the public on Phil Schneider.
The man, the myth, the storyteller.
The man with the storyteller with the strong hand, I should say. Let's go for it.
Can't hear you. Cannot hear you.
Hold on a minute.
If some of you are short and can't get up and see the...
Yeah. News update. Phil Schneider was found dead in his home in Portland, Oregon. His death, what was that? Noticed appeared in... So it was the 1st of January to 1st of January 1996. First of all, I should mention, if you want to have a look, the people who are watching this now, the people in chat, if you want to Google Phil Schneider's death photo, you actually see the crime scene photographs of Phil Schneider. Obviously can't show it here on YouTube, obviously, for reasons. So the story is, he mentions it, Tweedle. Yeah. What happens is that days leading up towards his death, he was seeing. Apparently, his friend said he was seeing Phil with a blonde woman. We'll get to the blonde woman in a minute. Shortly before his death, and obviously he was a mysterious woman. But a week later, he was found dead. He was found dead for about a week. Okay. He was lying on his back, and he was strangled by his own catheter hose.
Ooh, and that's proper CIA stuff. Sorry.
But the thing is hidden. But obviously, if you can see in the crime scene photographs, there is blood coming out of his mouth. Obviously, the body's decayed because he's been there for a week. But there is traces of blood around the apartment. Also, his stuff went missing. Okay, that is definitely his stuff that he was bringing into the lecture circuits did go missing.
Catheter bag.
Catheter bag was still there, I think. That's how we're talking about. But so what catheter is that the thing that
collects your bodily waste?
Bodily waste, yeah. I was gonna say a naughty word there, but it's PG-13, brother.
Right.
But yeah, that's what it was. It was the hose that strangled him. That takes some force. But what last podcast on the left mentioned, and I think it's worth mentioning, is a possibility that Phil was into erotic asphyxiation. Get to no, right. No. I know it sounds a bit odd, but the knot was at the front. But if it was a CIA thing, the knot would be at the back because you're not around the back of the person. Okay,
that's right.
With erotic asphyxiation, I don't do it because I'm perfectly happy where I am. I don't need that sort of stuff. But apparently, it comes to the point where you're going to meet death. So you want to put the knot at the front so you can easily loosen yourself, and that is obviously it doesn't work every time.
Well, wouldn't you put it at the side though? One would have thought.
Is the side or the front? I think it's the side.
To cut off the kind of cut off the supply to your brain, so you get the air supply to your brain to get that euphoric feeling.
Yeah, that's it. I think you're right on that one. Yeah. So that is.
So even with the knot at the front, all that's going to do is damage your windpipe, but it's not going to give you that euphoria that you're after. Because that's my presumption, because I'm not into it myself.
Yeah.
But I know that if you cut off the supply of oxygen just the right amount of time, it'll put you into that. Just kind of like what the wrestlers do when the wrestlers send you to sleep. They're cutting off the oxygen supply to your brain. If you believe that's what they're doing, if you don't believe they're acting.
Yeah, you make a good point there, mate. Bear in mind,
I use logic. That's how I know.
No, I understand. I mean, I'm trying to put myself in that scenario as well. I mean, you need to release yourself at some point, from certain death. But Phil only had, a certain amount of fingers on one hand. Either the woman was a sex worker who met with Phil and discussed what they wanted to do, and then something went wrong with the lady who was obviously the sex worker, and then obviously, something went wrong, and then she buggered off, and then they found Phil strangled with a catheter. It's a possibility. Look, I don't know. I don't know.
Or you could take another possibility is that, again, I'll go back to the government and say she could have been what the government would use as a honey trap.
Yeah. I should worth mentioning Phil Schneider's wife, ex-wife, I should say. She divorced Phil before he went on the lecture circuits. Okay. So when Phil Schneider died, it was ruled as a stroke. Okay, the coroner report
for the government.
Yeah, exactly. It was a stroke. Obviously, Cynthia, Phil's ex-wife, didn't believe it. So she went to a psychic. I'm not joking. This is in the book. She admitted this herself. She actually went to a psychic to find out who this blonde woman was. And what the psychic came back saying that the blonde woman was an FBI agent wearing a wig, but she was she had 4 other people with her when Phil Schneider died. And that was according to the psychic. But obviously I mentioned this before, his items went missing. I know Cynthia, she has a lot of documents about Phil Schneider's dad, but also she's got some other documents as well. But a lot of stuff has actually went missing. So how the hell did that stuff go missing when he had, topped himself? So there is very suspicious stuff, I have to admit. I really look at both sides of the story, and there are some very suspicious stuff that don't really add up. Why did the coroner report saying he died of a stroke when you can clearly see in the photographs that he was strangled? Whether or not he did it himself, but Phil Schneider said again and again in his lectures, if you find me dead, it's not because of suicide, it's because I was murdered. And he kept on saying that. But again, he stopped taking his medication for his schizophrenia. He was in an awful lot of pain because his body was deteriorating and he had all these cancers. I mean, that's not me. Phil Schneider said that in the lectures. So you can see he was incredibly ill and in a lot of pain. So who knows, man? This is that you just don't know the mind of a person. And because of these documents come out, I've got to say, right, okay, I've got to be a little bit skeptical now and have a rational thought. But again, his death is very suspicious. Very, very suspicious indeed.
Yeah.
Is that right? Did I make any sense what I just said?
Oh,
is that, yeah? Okay.
It's the, I don't know, because what I'm trying to say is see how when you're saying like the coroner ruled it a stroke, maybe they were hoping that would calm the waters, because if you're going around saying, look, if I should be suicide, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your death is labeled as a suicide, then people will say, hey, look, he was saying this a couple of years back that they're going to off him. But then if they say, well, it's a stroke, which does happen.
Oh yeah, sure, it does happen. But he was obviously, if you've seen the photographs, and he's got, he's clearly strangled, clearly, whether or not he's done it himself. But he's a very unable man. He's not his ability of movement. He's a big guy. He's got half his hand missing, and that for me doesn't make sense.
And that's a fact.
And that's a fact.
That's a fact that go on. Shh.
No, sorry, Hayden, it's all good. Phil Schneider's brother said in a quote,
is that Joe Schneider? Stop it, man.
Joe's. I'm too stoned. Sorry. Trying to think. Phil Schneider's brother said to trust the coroner report and just ignore the conspiracy theories. Just move on with your life. I believe that's like the quote that he said. And he's actually an FBI agent, Phil Schneider's brother. I can't remember what his name is. Again, it's just like things just don't really add up.
Well, what I mean? What would you expect him to say? Then knowing his job.
Just move on. Trust the coroner report. And nothing to see here. In fact, Phil Schneider's obituary actually said he died of a stroke. So but look at the photographs, guys. If you think I'm joking, there's the actual crime scene photographs are online. But yeah, fantastic claims. But again, just that evidence is just not quite there. Actually, I tell you what, let's bring up Cynthia Schneider. Oh, actually, I tell you what, I do have. I have a video of inside the Dulce base.
Ooh.
Yeah, would you like to
see it? Is it a real video?
This is real, mate. This is so real. It's going to blow your mind, bud.
Because all I've ever seen is drawings. So, the famous drawing of like an alien in a long tank.
Oh, no, this is the real deal, brother. This is the real deal.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
come on, guys.
Bring it up.
This is, have you guys in the chat seen this? Well, you don't know because I haven't showed you it.
This is Tweedle. It's this is the Dulce base.
It is the base, not the dome. Or is the base and the dome one in the same?
I thought, sorry, I'm putting that two together, but yeah, it's the dome. It's the deep underground military base. So let's have a little look at this actual proper real footage. And definitely not Disneyland. So here we have alien human hybrids in a jar of jelly mold.
That's very interesting.
It is. Definitely not fake.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why when this is done.
Yeah.
What's very interesting about that.
There we go. There we go.
Now, can you put it back just maybe about 4 seconds towards the end? Yeah, stop it there. All right, now you see these sacks there. That's it, perfect. You see these sacks here, right?
Yeah.
Now, human cloning. Well, not human cloning. Sorry. Let's go to when they did the first artificial womb. Do you guys know about this? They did the first artificial womb, and it was similar to that. What we're looking at. But this story, I think this story broke in about 2010 about the artificial womb that it was an animal that they did in the artificial womb, but it looked exactly like that. And the moment I saw that, I thought people are saying that's a movie set.
yeah, movie. Sorry, Moody said this is from a movie set. Is it, Moody? I don't know, but no, this is real. This is actual real footage from the Dulce base. Do you know what? It's probably from a movie. Don't know what movie it is, but yeah, this. I went digging for this video. It's from like 17 years ago. So yeah, that's the Dulce base, and definitely not Disneyland.
Because they pull that stroke on us, like doing the UFOs and the aliens are the famous one. Where I mean, there's still that picture from Signs, the alien from Signs, and they love passing that picture around, saying this is a real alien. No matter how many times you tell people that's from Signs, that's from the movie Signs. So,
I'm starting to find all these old UFO videos starting to come out from like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and people who are new to ufology, they bring it up again. And it's like, yeah, we know this is either fake or it's an interesting footage. Let's get rid of Dulce. And let's bring up.
There you go. That'll make you chuckle.
What's that? Oh yeah. I would be surprised.
I did want to say lamb. I did want to say lamb, but I wasn't too sure. But yeah, they grew in the artificial womb, but that's what the artificial womb looked like. It looked like it's just a giant sack. Hey, brother, how you doing? I hope you're feeling well. I hope you recovered from your stroke, man. Much love.
Yeah, good to see you, Watts. How'd you say that, Hidden?
Sorry?
How'd you say the name?
Who? What? What we talking about?
WYATT.
Oh, Wyatt.
Wyatt, Earp. Thank you.
Wyatt Earp, man. You remember gunfight at the OK Corral?
All right.
Wyatt Earp, man. Yes, I remember Dolly the sheep as well.
That was back in the 80s, wasn't it? Dolly the sheep.
Yeah. But I'll give you if you want to hear a little story about the conspiracy of human cloning. It's, even though we can't find any documents about this, there are a lot of people that talk about it, but there's no documentation of this. They reckon that they did clone a human, and the first human to be cloned, and the human was called Eve. If you guys,
like Adam and Eve.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
I think they cloned her. I think she was cloned in either the late 90s or the early 2000s.
And nothing's heard of since about it.
I don't know whether to believe it or not, but I want to believe, because I'll tell you why. They can do it to animals. So obviously, if they can do it to animals, there's going to be a guy out there, or a scientist, or an agency that's going to say, you know what, let's push this a bit further. Let's see if we can clone a human. And then the next step is hybrids. Let's see if we can splice this genes with another genes. But you see, it's not going to work. Like, you're not going to get a human Spider-Man. That's not going to happen. It's got to be similar. But then again, when you look at all the DNAs, the strands are pretty similar. So, because I saw a fly DNA compared to a human DNA, and bloody hell, there's only a couple of markers that are different. Well, not a couple. There's a few, but it's maybe 7, 8 markers that are different than a human. So it's really, I don't know.
I mean, if you look at, 100%. I mean, if you look at like Germany back in the 1940s and what Joseph Mengele was doing, okay, I did hear stories. I mean, Vladimir Dzinski talks about this, about splicing humans and animals together back in World War II. And I know Joseph Mengele, I believe, immigrated to America after the war. I mean, he was a nasty person. I mean, he did all the biological experiments, trying to create the twins and stuff like that. Yeah, brutal person, absolutely nasty man.
Because just one example, he used to hurt one twin. He'd have a set of twins. He'll put one in one room, one in the other. The other twin's getting hurt like hell, and then he'll walk in the other room and say, "You feeling anything?"
Yeah.
Break his arm, and you say, "You feeling anything?" PG-13, mate.
PG, sorry, the acolyte, sorry, Disney acolyte.
That's why I talked a bit louder, because I heard it coming.
It's a learning curve, bro. It's a learning curve. But again, this genetic stuff has been going on for decades and decades. So they would have perfected it by now, but they're going to tell the public. Did you hear about the lady who had like a pig organ put in? Was it like a pig lung or something like that?
That's not nothing new though, because I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
You think the pig, its organs are very similar to ours. So we've had pig livers in us. The doctors were even messing around with pig hearts. So it's transplantation is the more weirdest thing is when they can grow the organs
with AI.
And I know that's what they're doing. They are growing organs. Yeah, pig valves are very common. It's like when they practice a lot of things that they practice on when they try and like look at organs for humans. They always open up pigs first, because they're saying a pig's structure inside is similar, is exactly the same as a human. Like where our heart is where their heart is, where our lungs and all this is where theirs are. But it's because of how they are. It's designed.
Yeah, it's a bit like the reptilian brain. And believe it or not, we all have a reptilian brain.
Yeah,
it is like the components are there. And it makes you go, reptilians? Is that a real thing?
We actually have a hybrid in here. There you go. We have a hybrid here.
I got pig valve. All right.
There you go.
It's going to come to the point where AI is going to start creating stuff. It's going to come to that at some point.
Well, I think it will only go take over, because we've done it. We as humans have done it. And I think
this is interesting. This is interesting. The reptilian brain is a lower level thinking, like making impulsive or violent decisions. Oh,
yep,
interesting.
yep.
Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if that's connected to the pineal gland. Probably not. No.
I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I was trying to think of the name, what it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, if you take like a fat dose of mushrooms, then your pineal gland will open up and you're probably just reptilians.
Well, it was supposed to be our basic, like what you said. It's what our basic things are, our mechanisms for love or lust.
Yeah.
Our excitement over greed, or this is this thing at work. This is our reptilian brain at work.
Yeah. Is the like where is it? Like the comment was saying.
This is why the one thing that I don't understand is when Schneider was talking about human hybrids, making human hybrids with us and aliens. Well, I think really we should try and reverse the engineering, because I personally believe that we are the hybrids. I believe what the Sumerians were saying, what the Anunnaki did to us. So that's just my beliefs. Even though I do believe in God, if you want to use that term, I like to say my Heavenly Father. I do believe in that, but I still believe that we didn't descend from Adam and Eve. Because if you look at the Sumerians, what they said that the first man on earth was Anon, which now translates to Adam. So,
right.
That's
interesting.
Let's take a bit of this. Go
on. I tell you what. I forgot to mention this on the Alien Addict. So, Mr. Hancock called me up, and I saw Graham. I saw him last week, and if anyone's got Graham on Twitter, give him some love, please. Just I think he needs it at the moment. And we were talking about alien consciousness and stuff like that, and I asked him about the Anunnaki. He doesn't really believe it to a certain extent. I mean, I'm going with you, Hidden. I do believe in the creator, but I don't believe in God. I believe that we were genetically engineered as a purpose because we're too perfect. I just can't see how
we're not.
A big bang just happened and suddenly we're here. It's like, I'm sorry, that's just humans have only been here for a short amount of period of time, and then suddenly go, oh yeah, we've got the answers to how the bloody universe. I mean, we're still finding new stuff today, if you believe NASA or not. So how the hell do they know that? Where do we come from? I understand religions. I know, especially Christianity is a big part of.
Sorry, I said it wrong. I said Anon, but it's actually Anu, which you drop off the U and you got Adam. You see?
Right. I see.
Thank you. Thank you. I do pronounce things wrong, and I don't mean to do it. It's just the way I am. Well, there you go. You understand. We don't mean to do. We're not setting out saying, you know what? Let me pronounce this wrong. But thank you for clearing that up, because I knew that it came from Adam. But see, I see there's many theories that I've listened to, and all these theories sound plausible. Like when there was an asteroid, something came from Mars, a Martian rock hit our Earth, and it had bacterial life, and that's what sparked off life on Earth.
Okay.
But see, there's so many things about the human body, and when you look at what the Sumerians were saying, all right, like I'll give you one example, and this has always stuck with me. I know. The Sumerians said that the Anunnaki, they came to Earth because of the gold. Their planet Nubius, it has gold in the atmosphere.
Planet X.
But if you want to call it that, yeah. But it's being depleted. So they basically were looking for planets with gold on it. So they were getting the gold to replenish their atmosphere. So that means that if they breed it, it becomes a part of their makeup. Now, when you look at the human body, I think we have 0.09 something of gold in us. We have a very small percentage of gold in our bodies. Now, if we were hybrided, because they took a little bit of their DNA and whatever was here already. Now, I'm not going to say monkeys. There could have been something else here already, like what people class as pre-humans or something. And they just worked it. They worked it. They refined it. They refined it into a way that we were strong enough to work, but not strong enough to overpower them. And this makes sense because when you hear stories about, for example, women with their children, sometimes the car goes on top of the child and they just get this mad rush of strength where they can lift up the car and pull their babies out. So we have this strength in us. So
I understand, man. I understand. It's like the adrenaline rush. I mean, I do that in boxing. You know, you just get that. It's like the fuse that bursts, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I can actually go like 1,000 miles an hour when I thought was actually worn out. So it's a bit like you said with a woman, you know, in distress. You just have that extra like superhuman strength. It's incredible.
I'm glad you say that because see now this is the thing. That's where my story comes off the rails now, because not only do we have copper, we have zinc, we have all kinds of minerals in our body, a very small percent of it. So then it goes back to this is where we were created. We were created because remember we were created from the earth. This is what the good books tell us. But anyways, let's get off of that because this is going to turn into a Bible lecture and we're going to have people coming over saying, you know, so, and not that I'm insulting people because, you know, as I always say this, whatever path it takes for you to get to the Father, you take that path.
I would say I come to a certain age now where I try not to bash, but and again, amen, I should say. But I just don't like when people bash it down your throat. There's one person that I know, she's a lovely lady, but my God, it's like, okay, you just like take a step back a little bit, you know. I'm going to pray for Jesus because Boris Johnson is going to save the country. I'm like, excuse me, like I have to like walk away. It's just like that people I just can't take seriously. But man, you do if it makes you happy, you go ahead. But
ain't nothing wrong.
Don't impeach it. Nothing wrong with that. No,
ain't nothing wrong with finding a bit of happiness.
No, exactly, man. It's if that makes you happy, then do it. But just don't shove it down people's throats.
But
in
see,
the nicest possible way.
Here's the thing now. See this word here? I never say that because that's to me what I believe is that's a shortened name of the Egyptian god Amun-Ra. So
right.
That's why I was thinking. That's why I never say that. That's why I never say that.
Because a lot of Christianity is taken from Egyptian mythology. It's parts. Is it taken from bits and pieces of different mythologies and myths over the years?
No, see, the Bible is 2 books. So the first book, the Old Testament, that is taken from the Torah. The New Testament is something different. It's new because that is the story of the Christ. You know, which I do believe. I do believe a man like that did exist. I'm not saying this whatever was said is truth, but I do believe that there was a man that walked the earth that had a lot of good to say. He didn't say bad words. He said good. Even when he was up against the Romans, he was saying good. He was telling his people, look, be good. Our reward will come. Be good. You know what I mean? So
I wish people would say that in 2024, honestly. World, are you listening? Be good, be kind, for crying out loud.
Well, it goes back to a simple message that I was told a long time ago, that if you need a book to be a good person, then guess what? you're not a good person. Because the goodness comes from within you. And that's that.
It's true. It's true. And not somewhere else. And definitely not medication that someone was trying to push me on. And I was like, no, it must come within. I must find myself. I must get spirituality.
Indeed. So, are we done with Phil Schneider?
Yeah, I mean, guys in chat, ladies and gentlemen, make the decision.
Is there any questions?
Yeah, any questions?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What is your? Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll do it this way because we're gonna everybody writing long things. It's one, if you believe Phil Schneider's story. Two, if you don't believe in Phil Schneider's story. And then I'm going to ask you another question that will be 1 and 2. Or 3 if you don't know. Because I'll join this. Let me put in.
And
there's me.
By all means, everyone in chat who's watching this now, go check out Phil Schneider. There's an 8-hour lectures on there. 0.
That weren't even a goddamn option. See, I think sometimes people like Phil Schneider, because it wasn't just the aliens he was talking about. He was talking about a few other things as well. And when I see stuff like that, I always remember, go on, Wyatt. I know you pressed the wrong button. I always believed there was a movie that I watched, and I always talk about this movie. It was a Mel Gibson movie called Conspiracy Theory. And the general plot of the movie is this. It's not a spoiler. The general plot of the movie is this guy, Mel Gibson, he was a truther, but he was a conspiracy theorist. So he spoke a lot of stuff. He would write a lot of stuff down, and he would post a lot of stuff on different subjects. Yeah, different topics. He was talking about. And then all of a sudden, he's got a hit squad after him. So the premise of the movie is, what conspiracy theory is actually right? What is the one that's getting him killed?
I see.
And so when you have a man like Phil Schneider who did this very similar thing, he told quite a few stories. Which one was right? Which one was either right or so close to the mark that they said, you know what, we got to off this guy. We got to silence him now. Because this goes back to my other question for the people in the chat. Do you think that Phil Schneider died of a natural causes, like i.e. a stroke? Or do you think he was helped? Did Humpty Dumpty get pushed, or did he fall?
My first things first, he did not die of a stroke. I suggest everyone look at the photograph of him. He was choked. Okay, there's no doubt about it. There's a picture of him. There's a picture of him hidden, literally with dead body, is actually strangled. That's the actual photograph. He was definitely strangled.
In this case, we have to go with the autopsy, the coroner's report, and what was on the obituary, which said stroke. A bit of both.
Oh God!
That's because that's what they were saying they were trying to do with Reagan. You know, they were trying to scare Reagan into having a heart attack.
Really? I've never heard that.
So yeah, it was a classic joke. Like they would say, they call Reagan up at 2 in the morning. He'd answer the phone, and I'll go boo. So brilliant. You know what? Even when Zero is saying it's both, you never know. They could have went in his house. This is saying, look, man, we're gonna do this to you. My man's like, do. You know?
Yeah,
so yeah. I don't know.
But the blonde woman is a bit odd. I have to admit. Cynthia said that Phil Schneider was getting injections from her to help with his pain and all that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm back and forth. I'm a flip flopper, a bit like Area 51. I just flip flop back and forth. I'm going. I don't know at this point, But fantastic stories. Fantastic stories.
Yeah, I agree. Great stories.
Yeah. But in regards to your question, Hidden, what he was killed for, most probably the deep underground military bases.
And not the AIDS virus.
Oh, the thing is, mate, he was, like I said, he was an old school conspiracy theorist. He dealt with everything. He was talking about German flying saucers, that was completely wrong and all that. So he's getting this information from somewhere. And because he's on the lecture circuits, he's seeing people like Al Bulick, Jordan Maxwell, and other people like that. So that's where he's getting a lot of conspiratorial information from. It's from these people. It's all about groupies, mate. Not like they're shagging each other, but it's all about groupies. That's where he gets information from. So,
well, yeah. Okay, because you see, I saw a bit of what he said about the AIDS virus, and
yeah,
I agreed with him on that one. And the reason why I agreed with him on that one is because of the science. Now, I remember listening to, because when AIDS came out, I was a young man, and so it was worrying times for us young people, because we're like, whoa. We're going to put it somewhere and it's going to blow up,
Yeah.
So I had to watch the science on this, because it was so bad back in the 80s when it first came on the scene. People wouldn't even share a cigarette with each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah. There was so much, I'm not going to say misinformation, just so much wasn't known about it. You know what I mean? That
propaganda.
You were just scared. I wouldn't say propaganda. I think if you want to call it propaganda, it was done amongst ourselves. The government didn't do it. We were all doing it. We were all being dumb, but you didn't know. Kind of like when the C-19 came out and everybody was buying toilet paper. The government did not tell them, hey, there's a virus out here. You need to get toilet paper. The government didn't tell them that. We all started doing that.
Yeah.
It's the public. We all started doing that. And so that's kind of it. But back to, I remember watching The Scientist, and he said, and this is what made me turn around and say, hold up. He was talking about the AIDS virus itself, but he kept on referring to it as a retrovirus. So I said, well, you got to take that word, what he's saying. A retro is something from the past. So this virus has been here before. It's been here and it's mutated.
Are we talking about Fauci here? Am I allowed to say his name?
I don't know. I don't know who he is. So I don't think is he the one that came out with the C-19 times?
Yeah, I would describe him as the Antichrist. So this guy is linked to the pharmaceutical company. I've got to be careful what I say on YouTube, but he is linked to the AIDS virus. And he said in an interview about in regards to the AIDS virus that you actually splice in viruses together and actually release it to the public. I mean, let's just think, I don't want to divert the topic, but just to think about this for a second. Okay, men have been doing each other for thousands of years. Okay. Where was AIDS back in, the Greek times when gay sex was, quite popular back then? It's well documented. In Roman, that's well documented. Where's the AIDS virus back then?
There was other things.
I'm sure there's other things.
That were always there.
Yeah, but suddenly AIDS just popped out all of a sudden out of the 80s. All of a sudden.
Okay, but to play devil's advocate now, this is why I hate myself, because I go both ways. I don't want to say that because I'm not. But the thing is, with viruses, they mutate anyways, because a virus is a living entity and it wants to live, so it will mutate anyways. The thing that we see now with C-19 is this thing is mutating rapidly. It's like every 3 months. 3 to 4 months, there's a different strain. It's trying to beat everything. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and I understand.
And this is the thing.
But you think AIDS? Sorry, you carry on, Hidden. Carry on. You make your point.
Well, this is the thing with the AIDS virus. the scientists has already said it was here before.
Mm.
So the mutation that it had, was it a natural mutation, or did somebody help it along? Because with you remember the Ebola one?
Yeah, I remember
the Ebola
that. Yeah.
outbreak. Now
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was something that everybody was saying, hold up, this virus, the scientists were saying this virus could not mutate as fast as it did naturally. It's mutating on its own. It couldn't have done that. Something had to help it.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from there.
No, I'm shutting up.
No, it's okay. I mean, I did watch this documentary about how it was kind of spread to a certain degree, but it only affected gay men. That's not true. But I've seen people that had the alleged AIDS virus, didn't take any medication, and eventually it just went. And this is a woman who said this, who actually was diagnosed with AIDS. But like you said, Hidden, there's like, you need two things to happen. And I believe there were injections handed out to the gay population back in the late 80s to actually stop the AIDS virus. And I believe that's what Freddie Mercury took. I believe that's what I heard. That's what, I can't remember what the injection was called.
Say it. Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. Just call it. Yeah. But there was a vaccination that they took to actually potentially stop the AIDS virus, but actually enhanced it to a certain degree. It's a complicated subject, man. I got to be really careful what I say, because I know it's a very touchy subject. I don't know. I'm not going to sound like a right unintelligent idiot because I'm not getting my facts right. But in regards of it actually being man-made is a possibility. But how the spread happened. But I understand how viruses mutate. But if you look at the one that's happening at the moment, you know, the C thing, it gets less and less and less. But AIDS affects the immune system, isn't it?
Yeah.
Specifically the immune system. So you can have any, I mean, for instance, Freddie Mercury, people say, oh, he died of AIDS. No, he died of pneumonia, which was caused
by
the AIDS. Yeah. So it's literally just in your immune system.
Because a lot of them were dying. A lot of them were dying from skin cancer.
Yeah, a lot of them. So it's, who knows, man. But again, it's a touchy subject.
Well, we do know that one of the most powerfulest man on the earth right now did a TED Talk lecture. And please don't write his name if you know who I'm on about, because I'm not going to say his name. But he did a TED Talk lecture, and he said that the way that we will depopulate the masses is through vaccination.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Just TED Talk. On the TED Talk. We can't say much more. Can't call his name, man. Can't call his name because he owns the whole platform that we're on right now. So we can't call his name. He owns everything. He owns everything, mate. And that's what he said at his TED Talk. I mean, I don't know if it's still online. I mean, I did when I was called the Hidden Underbelly, not 2.0, but just the Hidden Underbelly. I did have it on there, so it was one of the things that did get me to get my channel taken down. It didn't help because I was naming, and I was like, well, I ain't afraid, but I'm still not afraid. But I like my channel. I grew it, and I would hate to lose it because I said the wrong name. So this is why. But if you guys want to look into it, and that's how it is. Just I remember the first story of the Ebola coming out, and the African press were reporting it from Africa, and they were saying the villages, they used to block the road, and they were saying that they would block the roads, and they would stand there with machetes. They wouldn't let the aid workers in, the Westerners, and they said that we had no problems until these guys in white coats started turning up. So they wouldn't let them in. They wouldn't let them in. So there we go.
Maybe that's a Rumble show we can do, perhaps.
Maybe. I don't know because he still owns the internet, mate. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want you to lose your channel because we called his name, because you'd have to, but just look up TED Talks, vaccination to decrease world population, and if it's on YouTube, it'll be there. But if you might find it on the internet, because somebody's gonna have it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, all right, is this my part of the show now?
I think
no,
this
you
is
got
it,
something
buddy.
here. No, you got something here. What's this?
Let's
see what you got up.
Oh right, okay. Oh yeah, this is just a quick excerpt from Cynthia, who is Phil Schneider's ex-wife, in regards of the blonde-haired woman.
And as that story goes, to the best of my knowledge, he had a gun and shot 2 of them. Is that correct?
Well, he got shot by a cobalt gun from one of the aliens, and I believe he had a gun as well, but the major damage was to him in his chest. Right. And he had a very severe injury.
Hold on,
where it would split.
There you go.
You had told me that he was there was allegations that there was a woman going to his apartment where he was living and was giving him shots for MS.
Right. In Oregon, we had a special experimental program for multiple sclerosis, and Philip had been diagnosed with that, along with a multiple number of other problems that were going on for him. But in specific, that one. So he told me he was in an experimental program with the Oregon Health Sciences here in Portland, Oregon, and a nurse came in and gave him a shot every week for the multiple sclerosis experimental drug. And sometimes he would call me and he would say, I really can't see Marie, his daughter, this week because the shot made him so sick. Well, after his death, I wanted to get all the medical paperwork. I went to his personal doctor. I went to the University of Oregon hospital, and they said he was never in their program. So he was being given shots. Yeah, he was being given shots by a nurse that was a fake. This was not an authorized program.
So they had no record whatsoever of any of their nurses on their staff going to give this experimental shot to Phil.
That's correct.
So we have no idea
if this woman was. Right, and I think this is the same woman that was involved with his death later on, and also that we saw after his death when we were all together discussing his death at a church. We looked out the window and there was this woman in the car with long blonde hair, and I'm pretty sure it was the same person that had been involved with giving him the shots.
There we go. That is
Mystery lady.
Cynthia, mystery lady. Yeah.
Not mysterious girl. So we're not going to go into a song. All right. So that's Phil. Thank you. Let's give it up. Give it up for Nick. Great research, man. Great research.
Thank you. And thanks to people in the chat. Thank you. Yes. This is all Nick's research, because what Nick does, he does this for the show. So this is all on him, while I can see what crazy videos I can find for you guys to put on the channel. But as I said last time, that I do have other social media platforms. So when I'm not putting videos on the channel for the reasons that I haven't found anything good, because yes, there are UFO footage out there every day, but some of them are just dots in the sky at night. And I don't think I don't want to see that. If I want to see a UFO, I want to see something. If the dots in the skies are moving, I want to see something. But on the social media platforms, which I know some of you are there, I just said that at the end of the show, I'm rabbiting on. All right, take a breath. Breathe.
Make sure no one's at my window. There we go. And what I said is that when we're at the end of the show, we'll just go through what I've been posting on my social media site. So I'm going to go to Facebook, because if there's anything of interest that I want to show you, I'm limited in what I can write and what I can, on Twitter. But Twitter will have different things on there, because Twitter is more, Facebook's kind of weird. They come down on you again for putting certain things on there. You have to be careful. Whereas Twitter, it's kind of like, meh, it's okay. As long as nobody's getting their head chopped off, it's okay. So here, let's dive over here and let's see what I've been posting for the 2 weeks. It ain't a lot, so don't worry. You'll only be here for another 2 hours. No, I'm playing. Right. So let's go over here. So I think the 2 weeks. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. What the hell did I do? Oh my God. Hold on a second, guys. I don't know what I've done, because that should have that should have happened. Oh, okay. I didn't press that button. So guys, can you see that? So
yes, you can see it.
The beginning of 2 weeks, 10 days ago, it started with the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Now, I'm sure we're all aware of that. And wasn't my man lucky? I mean, here, look how lucky he was. This thing just grazed his ear. But to give some prospects into this, here's a picture. Let's see if that, can you guys see this picture?
Yeah, we see it. Yeah.
Right. So you can see now in this one shot here, can you see my arrow moving? Because I'm not on the screen.
Yeah, you can see it, mate. Yeah.
All right. You see right there, there's a little wisp. That's the actual bullet. This guy actually caught the bullet on camera. Now, what I'll do is I'll come out of that and we'll go up here, because I actually put a bigger picture of it where you can see this. Can you see the wisp, that line?
Yeah.
Oh, let me go over here. I'll tell you what, let me make it bigger. I'll get rid of that, because at the moment my Facebook page is going crazy because of the Terrifier 3 footage. It's not going to make it. Hold on. Let's make this a bit bigger, because I thought this is a pretty cool picture. Can you guys see that? Can you see it? The line of the bullet? That's insane, man. That's insane.
I've been here, honestly, hidden. I've been hearing so many people, well, not so many people, but that's a photoshopped photograph. And the assassination was actually faked, and Trump had ketchup on his ear.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
People, you know what? Anything that happens in this world, yeah. Because I can show you another story, more recent one, where somebody actually wrote to me and said this never happened. So it's up to you to what you want to believe. Now, I believe the picture, and I'll tell you why I believe this picture, that it ain't Photoshopped, that's a genuine picture. Because going back to this one, these are the 3 shots that were taken in succession.
Yeah. You see the blood on his hands there.
Yeah. So where's the ketchup coming from?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But, people want to believe what they want to believe. God bless you. That's what makes this world great. If everybody thought the same, then it'd be pretty boring, wouldn't it? Now, so then on the same 15th, or on the 15th, I posted this video. Now, I found this interesting, because this is a guy. Here, let's get this bigger. I might play this.
Yep, there we go, mate.
Now, I got to tell you what this is.
This is funny.
I know, I love this one. But what this guy did, right? He took a llama skull, because this is going back to the alien, the can I say it? NASCAR alien mummy head. Yeah. Now, what this guy has done, he's took a lemur skull, because a lot of people have been saying, look, that's a lemur skull. So he's got a lemur skull, and he's also got what would you call it? Some modeling putty.
Yeah.
And he's put it at the back. He's put it at the back of the lemur skull. He's really not saying anything, but I'll put the sound on for you guys. And tell me if this doesn't look the same as the mummy head. Here, check this out. Look at it there.
Spot on, mate. That's a
you know,
that's a good
these
catch.
are the now these are the kind of things that I like, because rather than people saying, look, this is fake, this is done this way. I mean, this guy's nailed it. And to me, I think, like what you said, that's pretty spot on.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, good catch, man. That's a good catch.
So
that's why spot on to me.
That's why I posted it. He just took, as you can see, the modeling clay's right there, a lollipop stick, and a lemur skull. And he's got the same as what he's showing you in the picture that they're passing off as a alien skull. So, you know, hey. So, guys, if you're not subscribed to my Facebook or Twitter or even Discord, and while I'm mentioning Discord, I like to say a big shout out to Eat a Rat Daily, because we love posting memes. So then let's go on to the next story. Oh, this was funny. This was funny. Now, this is 50 Cent at his concert right after. Oh, I might have to. I might have to. But this was 50 Cent at his concert right after the assassination attempt. And if you notice, he's singing a song, Many Men, which it's called Many Men, and the chorus goes, many men wish death upon me. And look what he did. He photoshopped Donald Trump's face on his body, and this is actually at his concert. You gotta love 50. You gotta love 50, innit? Sorry.
What was she got?
This one's just a beautiful.
Oh, wow.
This is just a beautiful. Is it sunrise? Yeah, sunrise with this red halo. I mean, I'm not saying this is something that's not a natural phenomenon. It more than likely is, but doesn't that look impressive?
Beautiful, stunning. I can see there's some cirrus stratus in the clouds there. Don't want to get all technical with you, but yeah.
Get technical, mate. Get technical. It adds to.
Get technical, mate.
that's me watching too many Guy Ritchie movies. Okay, now this is a bit of a stupid one, but I like to have fun. I think you guys know. I think you guys know me by now that I like to have fun. And this one is a robot, a food delivery robot. Now, they said this is coming in the UK, but somebody said that we don't use the word sidewalk in the UK. But I don't buy that, because a lot of American slang is always being picked up by the youths of today. But if you listen to how the guy talks in this, he does sound like a Londoner. You ready?
Oh. Can you please help me back on the sidewalk? Can you please help me back on the sidewalk? Close, man.
Watch him. He gives the robot a little pat on the backside.
Whoa. You fucking muppet.
Oops, sorry.
PG-13, brother.
What?
You fucking muppet.
Oh, again.
Go on, son.
I know, it's just stupid, but I like to be stupid. I like to be stupid. Okay, here's another stupid one. There's no swearing in this one, but found this hysterical. So this is a Chinese guy, but This is a Chinese guy pretending to be American. Why can't I pause it? Yeah, have you seen this yet? Have you seen this, Nick?
No, I haven't seen this, bud. No,
All
go
right.
ahead, play it.
Please don't be drinking anything or anything, because you're gonna laugh. I mean, I couldn't stop laughing.
Hey, Bobby, look, I'm American. I think I'll use my credit card. Do you guys have anything non-dairy? Anything gluten-free? Hey, Bobby, look, I'm American. I think I'll use my credit card. Do you guys have anything non-dairy? Anything gluten-free? Hey, Bobby, look, I'm American.
I just love it how he says, I just love it how he says, hey, Bobby, rook. Huh?
It reminds me of South Park, the original commentaries.
And because I don't like making videos of pictures, I will post a lot of like pictures up here, like of UFOs. So I posted this 6 days ago. Yeah. That's because, huh?
It's like Moody's comment.
I can't. Hold on, I'm gonna go see it. Moody. Chinese guy doing an impersonation of a black guy talking like a white guy. Oh man! God. All right, let me go back because I can't. I'm in here having to scroll up. So the thing is, when I did do videos of pictures of quite a few of my subscribers said, look, we don't like this because pictures can be easily photoshopped. So I thought, fair enough, I can just put these pictures on my other social media outlets with as much information as I can. So before I dive into, hold on, I don't know if I can see this. No, I knew I wouldn't be able to. So let me give you the background, and then we'll look at the pictures closely. This photo was taken in 2017 on the Polish mountain Massive Gwynot. I don't know if I'm saying that right, which has an elevation of 1,895 meters above sea level. It was taken with an iPhone 7, and we have received the original, which we are attaching for your own analysis. The witness claims that they did not notice the object visible in the photo. They are convinced that nothing was there, and it's definitely not a bird. So when they say it's definitely not a bird, what does that mean? It could be a bird. You're starting to know the UFO talk now. So here it is. It's this little thing that does seem metallic. So here we'll have, and gosh, look at that scenery though. Imagine being on top of that mountain looking down. But anyways, here it is, bit more zoomed in. That's the original, and then they zoomed in on it again. And then this is just zoomed in on the object. Let's see if I can make it a bit bigger for you guys.
That's what she said.
And she normally does. So there you go. So it does seem metallic, but it's one of those.
It's a bird.
It's a bird. Bird is the word. Okay, now like I said, this is the lighthearted stuff I put up. Should we try and get away with this? Because it is a song. You know what? I'm not going to play it because I don't think I'm going to get away with it. No, it is a song, but it's a funny song about aliens coming down, and you know, your typical what would a redneck do if an alien landed in his trailer park. Okay, we've all seen that, I believe. If you haven't, it's on my channel. That's the UFO over Miami. This one I can't play because of music, but this is a rave in Mongolia where they turned up on horseback, and the horses are even raving at this rave, as you can see. Can you see that?
Look it up.
I love crazy stuff like this, man. Yeah, let's have one. It's because of her wearing a bikini and a full body suit, man, and raving away, and these horses. See them all on a horseback.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Only okay. I mean, this one I did find out what fish it was. This is also one of my shorts about this mutated fish. I thought it was a mutated fish because I ain't never seen a fish like this. It's actually called a batfish. I'm not making that up because somebody wrote, like I asked on the video, I said, if you guys know what this fish is, please let me know. And somebody wrote to me and said, it looks like it's some sort of batfish. And I thought, is this guy having a laugh? So I Googled batfish, and lo and behold, I think the third picture was this fish. So strange looking fish, but it is a batfish. See, there you are. There you are. John, there you are. Now, this happened yesterday. I was lucky enough to be around on the internet, but Yellowstone National Park business basin exploded just a few hours ago. Just say, oh, I forgot to put hours. There you go. See, this has never happened in the history of the park. Now, I got that information from the source that this has never, it actually did happen before. So sorry, but I can only put out the information I get, and that was the information I got. But rather than, no, I can't play the video because the video for some reason has been copywritten, yeah? But you can watch the video because I did it as a short. But we can look at the pictures. I mean, look at that. And these people on the decks, they were just sightseeing. They were tourists on the deck, and this thing just blew.
It blew its load.
Look at that. Look at that, man. Here's the maddest shot, though. There's the maddest shot, and this is what I'm going to show you. Let me zoom in on this one, because this is an indictment on these adults here. I mean, they all took off, and they left this poor little kid behind. It's every man for themselves. And hey, forget the kid. I mean, if I was there, I'd grab the kid and say, "Come on," I'd scoop him up. You know what I mean? But look at them. Look at them. Because these people were behind that kid, and now in this shot, the kid is behind.
Yeah, but no offense, him. That there's a kid there that's behind like a fat person, so he's easily going to go ahead. So screw the kid. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah,
he's still alive. He's learned a valuable lesson not to trust people.
But there you go, man. There you go. So that blew, man. So that's been major news pretty much today. I can't show you the video again because it's been copyrighted, but it's thingy. It's on my YouTube. It's one of my shorts. It's for some reason they can't copyright the shorts, but I know if they play it because I did got a copyright notification, but they can't copyright the shorts. So
okay.
And you've seen this at the beginning, so we won't play it again. But I'll tell you an interesting story about this. I had this trailer. Somebody sent it over to me. And I had this trailer before it was officially released. So I did put it out. If you go to the official release of the trailer, I released this 12 hours ago. So then if you go to the official, where the trailer is officially being played, you'll see that they had it about maybe, 6 hours. So there you go. And this is a cool one. I can play this one. Have you guys seen the humpback whale that capsizes the boat?
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it?
Oh man, that's really scary. Should I give that a butchers?
Yeah, go for it.
Give you guys. Whoa.
Nothing's coming up, hidden. I can't see anything.
Hold on. Oh, I know why. hold on a second. Thank you for saying that. I know why. It's because I'm still on this. So I'll tell you what, we'll go back and have a look at that one. Okay, that's the show that you guys are here now watching. Phil Schneider, he fought with aliens and won.
Kind of.
There you go. Kind of. And my last post is probably going to be the best one. And this is the new Terrifier 3 poster.
Terrifying.
Doesn't
Absolutely
that look
terrifying.
I'm telling you, as soon as I saw that, I said, yes, I'm gonna get the t-shirt. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy that t-shirt because
Awesome
me and the boys, we're gonna go to the cinemas to watch that.
Nice.
So
nice.
I mean, last time when I went to see Terrifier, here, I'm gonna come out of here. Hold on, let's see. There you go. Last time when I went to go, how you doing? Last time when I went to go see the Terrifier, I had the sunglasses, you know, the flower sunglasses, if you guys know what I'm on about. So I wore them to the cinemas. So this year it's going to be that t-shirt. I'm going to get that t-shirt.
Nice,
so,
nice, bro. Awesome.
Well, I'll show you the well if you guys haven't seen the well capsizing the boat, and then that's kind of me done. There we go. So you can tell I haven't done this in a while because Nick just does everything. Oh yeah, there is something I did want to talk about. Let's watch the well video and then we'll come back real quick and then we're going to end the show. Come back real quick, have a real quick chat, and then we'll come back and end the show. Okay?
Cool.
Has everybody got that? Where are we at?
Yeah, I got it, mate. Go for it.
Okay. Right now, if you want to see this, you can go over to in my shorts on the YouTube channel, and it's there. But here we go. Oh, it's not at the beginning. Heart-stopping moment when this humpback whale capsized this. This is the heart-stopping moment when this humpback whale capsized this boat with two fishermen on it. Here, let's take a look at the clip. This incident took place in Portsmouth in New Hampshire on July the 23rd, 2024. And lucky enough, no one was hurt. So until next time, stay blessed and keep safe.
I wish the same thing could be said for these two people on this boat.
Watch that. Watch him drop in. This is the heart-stopping moment when this humpback whale. Oh, could you imagine that?
That's scary, bruv. Saw that. That is scary.
Can you imagine that, man? And what the theory is that they're working on is that the well was feeding, and this boat just happened to be in its way. He didn't do it on purpose or anything, but
okay.
But that's the theory that's being put around. You never heard of the Terrifier? No, Nick never heard of it as well. Guys, I suggest check out Terrifier. Check out the first one, Terrifier 1. You know, and then Terrifier 2, obviously. But definitely watch the first Terrifier because it is off the chain. Now, what I did want to talk about, and I'm going to be real quick about this, is at the moment there's a lot of AI is being used quite a lot in the UFO field, and I find this very worrying because I think I always believe I think I'm old school, but I always believe that if we're going to do enhancements, we should do it, not have AI do it. Because you feed, to get AI to do the enhancements, you have to feed it prompts. Do you get what I mean? It hasn't got a brain to think for itself. So you're feeding it prompts. Now, if you're not going to feed it, like, say, this is a bird, it's not going to try and make the object that you're enhancing look like a bird. Do you get what I mean? If you're feeding it prompts saying this is a UFO, it's a disc, it's that, when it enhances the picture, it's going to make it look like a UFO, or distort it where it's not going to look like it's original. Now, my point in case is this. Now, I'm not having a dig, by no means at all. I'm not having a dig, but my friend Scott C. Warren, he runs the channel called UFO Sightings Daily. Now, we are friends. We have mutual respect for each other. So I am not insulting him in any way, because what he's been doing of late is getting old pictures and having the AI enhance them. And he put this one out. Here, let me get this. And I thought, well, this just reiterates what I've been saying. So here, I'll get this up. Now, hold on. There we go. Now, I don't know if you guys are you guys in the chat? Are you familiar with this this particular sighting?
I'm not familiar with that, mate. No.
Okay. Well, this particular sighting, if you guys are familiar with this particular sighting, this one was well, yeah, you could say they are good, but, and here's my but, and I'm not insulting Scott, but number one, this sighting from even the get-go, if anybody can see it's not about it being perfect. I'm not talking about it being perfect. It's only going to operate on what the information you're feeding it. It's not thinking for itself. It's being fed prompts. And if you're feeding it prompts saying it's a UFO, this thing is going to make it a UFO. And this is my example right here. This particular sighting, this was a blimp. This was a Goodyear blimp. But look what the AI's done. Oh, see, I'm there trying to press that button. And we'll just watch, because Scott ain't gonna mind. This is for educational purposes.
Hey guys, this is Scott. How's it going? I got this UFO. I want to zoom in on it. Look at that thing up there. It's very unusual. At first, I thought it was a Goodyear blimp at first, but in a lot of videos, people who witnessed it said it's nothing like a blimp. And that
no one said
like
that.
A blimp to me. Although there is some kind of energy source that looks like a screen. What is going on there, guys? Is this a UFO? Because if it is, it's just amazing. And it was witnessed in September 14th, 2020 over New Jersey. Now, this looks weird. What kind of blimp looks like this?
You can even see the nav lights on it.
Many,
you can see the light, and you can see the wording going across.
Like that. Look at the detail up there. Just a second. Let's zoom in on that, and we'll see it much better. Okay. Now focus on the right and left in the strange design in the center. What's going on with this thing? Okay, this is what it looked like before and after AI. This is what it looks like. Now that does not look like a blimp. It should if it was, but it's not a blimp, or at least AI doesn't identify it as a blimp. So what's going on here, guys? This is over New Jersey 4 years ago, and there was hundreds of witnesses saw this, and it's just mind-blowing, just kind of cool, amazing stuff. Look at that. And
oops, sorry, I didn't mean to pause it.
It really looks like, to me, this is some kind of spacecraft, some advanced spacecraft, possibly ours, possibly alien, who knows? But it does look like some kind of spacecraft was over New Jersey on September 12th, 2020. I might be wrong. I'd like to hear your take on this. Please tell me what's going on. Were you in Jersey at this time? Did you witness this? There was hundreds of people who witnessed it. There was dozens of videos that went up on the internet. Just check them out on YouTube and tell me your thoughts.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you very much. Grand job you're doing. So always say that. Grand job you're doing. But it was proven to be a blimp. Even when we was watching what he showed, you could see the nav light on the top. But see, the AI can't see it's a blimp because the program, what the keywords that it's being programmed, none of them's blimp.
Yeah, Moody says here the AI images, it is a bunch of images, you know, jumbled together, which that's what AI is. It isn't one specific thing. It's jumbling thousands of things together. It's an interesting concept, but you can clearly see. I mean, great work, Scott. But in my opinion, you can clearly see the navigation light, the flashing light, and you can see the screen going across.
Yeah.
As like the wording's going across, you can see that.
And
yeah. But the point the point you're trying to come across is that AI is now, it's going to misdirect people as potentially being in it. What the AI has produced is fascinating, but it's not going to do the UFO community any favors.
It's not what's there. It's what the AI thinks it should be there. We can humanly. I enhance my, when I get a video. Sometimes at the end of the video, there's a photo. I will put a screenshot of. That's what I have enhanced. I physically do that. I don't. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I know what I'm doing. But if you look at the videos, like Scott was saying, go and have a look at them. And what do you think? Is this a blimp? You can clearly see some of the videos. You can see the words going across that blue bit.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. You can see it. Yeah, really.
That video is not on my channel because I knew it was a blimp. You can tell it's a blimp. I'm not going to show you things that are so easy. Many people will turn around and say, some people will turn around and say that's not quite true, but there you go. But anyways, we've hit the 2.5 hour mark. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you everyone in chat. It's been a great show. And I'm not too sure what we're going to do next, Hidden. I mean, do you want to do Al Bulick and the Philadelphia experiment and a Montauk project? For those of you who watch Stranger Things, these actually based on a real thing called the Montauk Project and Al Bulick and stuff like that. So we'll find out. We'll have a talk about it, and hopefully it'll be a topic that people in chat would be interested in.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for it. Let's talk about that. I'm gonna try and get my doing my thumbnails because I'm making my own thumbnails for the show, and obviously they're not that great, but they're not that bad. But yeah, let's do that. I just want to reiterate again that I'm not having a dig at Scott by any means. By no means, I'm not having a dig at him. I mean, I have the utmost respect for Scott. I mean, he's one of the old school boys out there that, you know, I learned my craft from as well. So, you know, and I know that he has respect for me as well. We have chatted in the past. So it's not a dig at Scott. It's more a dig at using AI to enhance the photos. I think it's totally unnecessary, but other people may do. So here's where we're going to say goodbye. That's about wraps it up. We'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you in another 2 weeks. So you guys got your homework. Those of you that are into horror movies and have not seen the Terrifier, I suggest that to you. But I'm telling you this now, it's bloody and it's gory. So please, you know, it's a throwback to like the 80s gore and all that, man. It's off the chain. That's all I can say. It's off the chain. So
awesome.
I'm going to leave you with that. And we're going to end the show on a comedic note because we're just a couple of funny ass guys. So I managed to talk to my good friend. You guys might have heard of him. If you haven't, then you're going to meet him. Ali G. And Ali G, he said, you know what, brother? Put that stuff out there. So I'm going to leave you with Ali G. And all I'm going to say, you got any final words?
No, all good, man. Thanks for everyone in chat, and we'll see you next time, very soon.
I just got to say, all the link. All of Nick's links are in the description box. You can find him on YouTube. You can check him out on Rumble as well. So it's all there. Me, I'm like a bug. You turn over a rock and you'll find me. So no need to say anything. So on that note, now let's get Mr. Ali G all ready. There we go, Mr. Ali G. So I'm just gonna say to you all out there, thank you for joining us. It's been a blast, and till next time, stay blessed and keep safe.
Booyakasha. Check it out. I is here with none other than my main man, Buzz Aldrin. I know this is a sensitive question, but what was it like not being the first man on the moon? Was you ever jealous of Louis Armstrong?
He was Neil Armstrong, and no, I was not jealous. He was a very, very qualified person. Yeah.
So, when you arrived on the moon, was the people who lived there very friendly, or was they scared of you?
There was absolutely no thought of encountering any living being whatsoever.
Do you think man will ever walk on the sun?
No. The sun is too hot. It is not a good place to go to.
What happens if they went in winter when the sun is cold?
The sun is not cold in the winter.
We know you've been asked this a zillion times. It must really get on your tits being asked it. But let's just sort it out. What do you say to all those conspiracy theorists who come up to you and say, does the moon really exist?
I don't think there are very many people who question whether the moon exists. It exists. And
all right, you heard it here. It does exist. So all those people out there who are saying it don't, you was wrong.
That's right. The moon does exist, and we went there.
Yo, listen. So listen up. You has heard about the moon and about space. You better learn about these things from my man Buzz Lightyear here. So you better realize that these things is important. Big up yourself. Buzz, keep it real.
Oh, God.
Buzz Lightyear.